Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into today's video, I am going to very, very politely ask that we hit a subscriber target of 950 for this video, if possible, by the end of the week. That would be great. We did look at some of the data, some of the analytics. About 80% of you are watching our videos but aren't subscribed. It would mean the world to me and James if you just hit that subscribe button, hit the bell as well so you get a notification of when we're about to put something out. Also, if you fancy giving us a hand with the algorithm, hit that like button as well. And also, guys, this is a prediction video, right? Get in the comment section. We want to see your predictions. Also, anybody who wants to take the mick out of me or James, more likely me in my current form, for some bad predictions, let us hear it. We want to hear it too. James, you want to say anything?
Guys, yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000. We're getting so close to that. I think that I would love to reach 1,000 before Christmas. So if you guys can make that happen, we would really appreciate it. So a subscriber target of 950, as Jack said, that would really, really help the road to 1,000 before Christmas.
Anyway, guys, without any further ado, you've been very patient. We will get on to Game Week 9 predictions. James, international break's over. I come back from 27-degree weather in Spain, my golf holiday with my friends. I had a wonderful time. I come back at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, which I guess when this comes out will be tomorrow, but anyway, and it's 7 or 8 degrees. What the hell's going on?
Welcome to England, Jack, and it's just depressing, you know. The fact that like days are shorter now, you wake up, it's dark, you know, you finish work, it's dark. It's getting to that point now, and the coldness is just. But at least we have the Premier League to keep us going, because the international break is finally out the way now. We can get the football going, whatever football you watch, but we're focused on the Premier League, so at least we can get that till I think. Is there one in November? Is international break in November?
There probably is. I know what I look forward to is that tweet from that account, random account, that goes like, guys, no international break for 3 or 4 months or whatever. And I'm like, no. Anyway, let's have a quick look back at Game Week 8. I got 4 points, 4 correct results out of, I think it ended up being 11 games because of that extra Luton versus Burnley game. James, I think also 5 correct results with the correct score result. I think Chelsea versus Burnley was a standout, seeing Chelsea go away from home and put 4 goals past a Burnley team. That was kind of impressive. And then Palace Forest, Brighton Liverpool, West Ham Newcastle, Wolves versus Arsenal, 4 draws on the bounce, which I don't think anybody would have predicted. And then Arsenal with that clutch victory over Manchester City. James, what jumped out to you about Game Week 8?
Now, guys, I'll be honest with you. This is probably like my 3rd take of this because I totally forgot about the fixtures. So, but yeah, Jack, as I said, just a lot of draws there, and we have been tend to be like draw specialists at a point, putting a lot of draws. But to see certain games be a draw, like Aston Villa, that we both had Villa winning, the fact that it was 1-1 there, even Brighton Liverpool, which I think. What did Jack have a draw for that, or like did I have
we
a draw for that?
both had Liverpool winning.
Yeah, yeah. So
3-2, yeah.
You know, exactly. So we both had Liverpool winning there. 2 games that we would have thought, okay, like it's a tight game, but we like to think these teams are going to get over the line.
The other one I want to talk about as well is Brentford beating Manchester United. Scott McTominay scores a goal. I'm pretty sure I text James going, hey, yeah, I've got my draw. And then 3 minutes later, in the 96th or 7th minute, Scott McTominay scores again and gives James the point and takes it away from me. So thanks very much, Scott McTominay.
And Jack, just shows you how the swing is crazy, because I could have been on 4 points just like you, because the Arsenal Man City game could have easily been a draw. The deflected shot from Martinelli, and obviously the United thing was just complete chaos there. Yeah. So it just shows you how it can just swing in a matter of seconds.
Guys, it's fine margins, that's for sure. But those of you who are paying attention will know one thing, and that is that 2-point deficit has gone away, and it is Jack 55, James 55. We're back where we want to be in terms of competitiveness, let's say, for these Premier League table predictions. Anyway, we've been lots of chat, lots of talking. James, let's get on to Game Week 9. It's good to have the Premier League back. We've got Liverpool versus Everton, both of us with pretty convincing wins from Liverpool. Is this just a Merseyside derby with one team better than the other team?
I think Merseyside derby is one of the most overrated derbies in Premier League history. Like this notion that Everton have probably been better than Liverpool in the whole of the Premier League, maybe like for 1 or 2 seasons. The rest of the time, it's always been Liverpool, and Liverpool by a strong margin the majority of the time there. And right now, Liverpool are just head and shoulders above them. Jack has a 3-0, and I was thinking about the 3-0 there, but I just like to think that Liverpool seem to always have a goal leaked in them somehow, some way. So I have 3-1 there, but again, I think it's just going to be a comfortable game for Liverpool. Of course, the fans are going to get up and all that, but Liverpool always find a way. And unfortunately, Divock Origi isn't there if it does get a bit sticky for them. So that might be an issue.
I think they're just better in nearly every part of the game. Manager, position by position, play style. There's so much going for Liverpool at the moment. Again, I still think there are question marks and red flags. And I think, again, James, we're still very early. I think the table is still lying to us a bit. I think you and I have often spoken about, we think like maybe game week, I think 15, you get a bit of a feel for the table, but
I said game week 10, you kind of like started looking at the table a little bit and what type of shape, because 10 games is a lot, but right now I don't think it, even after 10, you never know.
There's still way too many places you can move up if you win and another team loses. And that I think is the thing that freaks me out a little bit. I usually look like 15 to 20 and then get a sense for the table. I think, I look at Spurs in particular, who we'll get to. A lot of their wins, James, have been against, I think, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th in the table of their wins so far, and you do just look at that and go, "Oh, Spurs as good as they think." But anyway, Liverpool, Everton, pretty convincing there from me and James. James, Brentford versus Burnley. Brentford, Scott McTominay breaking hearts in West London. Burnley, again, it's not looking fantastic for Vincent Kompany and this team. You've gone for a draw. I'm really keen for you to explain this one because, James, this one looks like a pretty standard 2-0 win for Brentford at home for me. Why do you think this will be a draw?
I feel like people must understand, like Brentford hasn't been scintillating this year, Jack. In the last 5 games, they have failed to win. 3 losses, Jack, in that period. And like, to me, when I look at a team like Burnley, granted, Jack, they finally got their first win against Luton. Yeah, it hasn't been great, but they played some nice stuff at times. They were able to take the lead against Chelsea. The issue with them is that they can't, Jack, in the Premier League, with the style of play that they have, playing out from the back and all that, like when that ball does turn over, in the Championship, you might be able to get away with it. But the Premier League is ruthless. I remember when they turned one ball over against James Maddison, I think at the edge of the box, turns and he just whips it into the far corners. That's the quality of the Premier League. They're not a bad side, but their style is very, very difficult to replicate when you don't have top players. With Burnley, but I just think that for me, Brentford haven't been that great this year, so I can see Burnley just getting something from that game. So 1-1 is what I have.
Yeah, look, I respect the risk. I still feel pretty comfortable with Brentford taking this one. And James, I think the most interesting thing, and I assume we'll do a video on this at some point throughout the course of the season, if you're the ownership at Burnley, do you get relegated with Vincent Kompany, come up again and go again? Or this year, you're in the relegation zone, do you fire Vincent Kompany and try and stay in the league with a new manager who's going to win tight games and do all that kind of stuff? Interesting conversation for another day based on how well he did last year. But anyway, we'll move on to the next game. Bournemouth at home against Wolves. James is taking the home victory here. I'm taking the flip-flop. I'll start here, James. There's a lot to like and a lot to be kind of optimistic about for Bournemouth. But James, I just look at the results and I look at, especially the goal difference over such a short period of time. It's just not good enough for Bournemouth. So I just think that whilst they might score and they might be somewhat dangerous, I think this Wolves side, a little bit of a point to prove, maybe have felt a little disrespected over the off-season by the likes of me and other people around them. I think Wolves will just have enough to sneak this one in, probably quite a close game. How do you see this one shaking out?
Jack,
can we give me some credit? I didn't mention Sasa Kalacic.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
yes, guys. That's a massive accomplishment there. Jack is willing to fall on the sword with certain players, but again, me looking at this, the previous stats of the game, it doesn't lean well for a team like Bournemouth. But just to me overall, just come back from international break. There's a lot of unpredictability that happens there. Wolves are coming off a decent stretch of what, three games without a defeat, and also have a win there against Man City. But I just like to think at home, yeah, with that, Jack, if they can get that crowd going, yeah, I like to think that they're they're going to be able to deliver. And secondly, like Wolves away from home this year, they don't, Jack. They create a lot of chances, but they don't seem to take them chances. Maybe it's a lot easier for them to take them chances at home, but away from home, when that crowd does get at them, I just like to think that Bournemouth can get themselves going, and maybe they can find a way to avoid relegation like they did last season.
They'll definitely look at a home fixture of that nature and think to themselves that they've got a chance. So I'm not going to lie to you. Looking at your score there does worry me. The home win for 2-1 against a team like Wolves.
Probably has a draw in front of it, Jack. I'll be honest with you. I was thinking, like, should I just sit on the fence here and go for a draw?
Yeah, but again, that is kind of scary. That could very easily be 2-1 Bournemouth, and I could be down 2 points. Moving next, James, Nottingham Forest versus Luton Town. Not many games so far in kind of the early slate of the window that really catch your eye. I mean, even Liverpool, Everton, I could kind of take or leave. Forest versus Luton, though, we've both got Forest by a 1-goal margin. You can't see Luton breaking this side down.
Interestingly enough, Jack, it's their first ever game in the Premier League, so this is like massive fixture for both teams. In terms of view of, Jack, relegation, both teams that are going to be in and around there, especially a team like Luton. But if you're Nottingham Forest right now, you're looking at this fixture, you're looking at what has gone on with them, thinking, it's kind of a must win. To kind of gain some confidence. They have got 2 draws in the last 2 games, and I just believe, Jack, with the quality that they have with certain players there, somebody like a Callum Hudson-Odoi, and who's the guy that used to play for Manchester United,
Anthony
Elanga, those sort of players. I was very disappointed to see that they both weren't in the starting 11 against Man City when they lost at the Etihad. But I just like to think in this situation here, Jack, that they can, with that sort of quality, get over the line. Plus Luton are Luton, I don't want to disrespect them, but and like they've done well, but
what's interesting, look, I think you can take Luton Town 2 ways, right? Do they play without fear and then go into games and go, bleep this, like, I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want because I can, because we're definitely going down and I don't care, I'm not protecting anything, I can just go for it? Or is it the complete opposite? Is it just, I'm giving up, I'm over it, we'll get relegated?
I'm not going to say that they give up, Jack, but to be fair, for Jack, they'd be able to get 4 points, and like you look at other teams there, Sheffield United only have 1 point, but
right.
They're not a team that make me. I can pick out certain things from them and say, okay, that's what they do good. That's why they're going to stay up. They're a team right now who I just think they're going there with a free fall. If we stay up, that would be amazing. But we're happy to take the parachute payment. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. You're right. I think you're right, and I think that'll probably be their story this season. Next up, James, kind of a hot fixture, just generally speaking. Man City versus Brighton. Man City, I don't want to call it a slump because it's not really a slump, but based on their very high standards, I don't think they're performing over the last 2 or 3 games as they'd want to be performing. James, you've got this one as 1-1. You think Brighton can go to the Etihad and go toe-to-toe?
I think Brighton can go toe-to-toe against any team in the Premier League. They are that good, and Jack, we've seen some of the performances that they've had. They played Liverpool, they played Manchester United, they haven't lost yet, Jack. And granted, hardest place to go in the Premier League is the Etihad Stadium, but and also I forgot that Rodri's coming back, so that is a big plus for them, and maybe that might sway it right now. But I just like to think, like, with the way De Zerbi has this team playing, Jack, in the lack of fear that they go into games, no matter where they are, they play with no fear. I just like to think that they can go there, might not win, but I'm going to sit on the fence here, and that's my respect to Brighton and what they've been able to do. It's mainly respect to them, overall, but 1-0 for me.
I think that the international break really helps Pep here. I think it helps De Zerbi, but I think it really helps Pep. There's a lot of preparation available here. a little bit of extra fitness maybe some of the Man City players can pick up. And James, there are these silly YouTube channels kind of having a go at Erling Haaland, saying he's fallen off a little bit this season and stuff. I think he wants to shut some people up. I think Man City want to shut some people up. I think this is hands down game of the week, and I think
also the link for the buyer for that video would be around here, guys. So yeah, check that out.
but I think that Man City have a point to prove here. I think Erling Haaland has a point to prove here, and James, I think the best number 6 in world football coming back is a pretty helpful thing, especially at home. So I can only see Man City going one way. But like you said, James, this Brighton team are no slouches, and they can come up against anybody and do well. So 3-2 for me, game of the week. Next up, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. I think this is a very, very routine home victory for just a far superior football team. That's why I'm going with the 3-0. They can attack you from anywhere. We've seen multiple goal scorers for this Newcastle team. Easy clean sheet for me, especially at home. 3-0. That's kind of a quick analysis. I feel really strongly about this game. A little closer for you, James. How do you see this one going?
I mean, Newcastle been flying, Jack. You know, the last 5 games. I mean, the last 4 games in the Premier League been unbeaten before the draw against West Ham. Jack, they had 3 victories in a row, including an 8-0 victory against Sheffield United. Obviously, the massive victory against PSG, winning 4-1 was incredible. The fact that Jack, they're in St. James's, you know, just that, like, that crowd could really, really push them over the line. And Crystal Palace, to be fair, the team that I don't know what to make of them. They're just becoming a mediocre Premier League team where every single year you know what you're gonna get from them. And I just like to think in this game that I don't think it's gonna be a wash the way how Jack has it. But the thing about Crystal Palace, Jack, they have quality there.
Right.
You know, players like Michael Elise, Eze there, who can really do something special, something out of the ordinary there, and I do think that they can go there and frustrate them like they did against Manchester United at Old Trafford. But I just like to think the quality of Newcastle will show coming to the end.
I think you mentioned it, but James, that PSG game is huge for just self-confidence, validation of where this football team are at, and I think that's a big part in that. If you can get, you know, Kylian Mbappe to put his hands on his hips, look around and be like, what the hell's just happened? You're doing something right. So I think this Newcastle team are about to go on a bit of a run here. Next up, Chelsea versus Arsenal. I kind of want to give this game of the week, but Chelsea aren't quite up to scratch. So I'm going to still stick with Man City Brighton as game of the week. Look, James, I think Arsenal are much better than Chelsea in every facet of the game. I think that the media, probably the coaching staff at Chelsea, are going to big this up to be a really, really big game. But James, one team is significantly better than the other team right now. Now, listen, you and I have talked about this a lot over the course of this year and this off-season. Noni Madueke, Mihailo Mudryk, right? Nicholas Jackson, all these guys, right? Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. If everything starts to click, Reece James is back. If everything starts to click, we're looking at one of the best teams in Europe, potentially, just on pure talent, if it all clicks. James, is it all going to click? Probably not. Probably not. What do we know about Arsenal? It's a proper team. It's a proper team. There's an ethos, there's a work ethic, there's a style of play. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. It's just a better run football team. I think this is a pretty convincing Arsenal victory. I can see Arsenal banging 3 goals in, Chelsea get maybe 1 goal in the last 10 minutes. I can really see Arsenal laying down a marker here and a little bit of a reality check for Chelsea. You've got it a little closer. Why are you going a bit more conservative here?
Because I like to think that it is Stamford Bridge and it's Chelsea, and there's still a respect factor there. Chelsea have won their last 2 games, and the confidence levels from winning their last 2 games was so important for them. I just feel like just getting them results wasn't about the performance, was so important, and the fact that they have done that and also scored, you know, 6 goals in that time period is massive. But as you said right now, Arsenal are the better team at this moment in time. Me growing up, it was Chelsea being the better team, and they've crushed us. But the big factor here, Jack, for me is that Arsenal have Arsenal beaten at Stamford Bridge in the last 4 meetings, and that's massive for Arsenal right now. We go there with the confidence in like the belief, knowing that we've done them this many times there. But on the second hand, we go into there with more pressure than Chelsea. Yeah, we have to win. We have to keep that momentum. We have to, stay with Manchester City. I know they're behind us right now, but we have to keep on racking up the wins to stop them, to stop them from, um, you know, catching up on us. So the pressure is on there. And I just like to think there it's going to be it's going to be a KG game. You know what these big games are like. Teams don't really like to go for it. It's very tactical based, and maybe a scrappy goal here or there, as we did against Manchester City, will be the difference in this game. But I just see us getting the win, Jack.
Moving on to the next game, Sheffield United versus Manchester United. James, I think this is going to be kind of similar to the way it feels like Manchester United are going to do kind of here on out through these games here. I think it will be closer than it should be. I think Sheffield United might even score first, but I think that's going to then motivate this team to then pull their socks up and do what they need to do to win. The 2-1 was very tempting, which I can see what you've gone for. But for me, I just think that counter-attack aspect of it is huge for Manchester United. This was, I don't know whether it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago, but the amount of times that Manchester United would be kind of leading in a game, and then the goals would just flow straight afterwards because of how good they were on the break. Their direct attacking football is still very, very good when they get the opportunity to do it. And this Sheffield United team is no good. And again, it's kind of easy pickings at this point. So I can just see a third coming in here. I believe Marcus Rashford scored against Italy tonight. I think Rasmus Højlund scored against San Marino. So I think everything's looking up for these guys. And James, as much as Sheikh Yassim is not going to be the new owner of Manchester United, we're maybe step one of 40 steps of the Glazers leaving Manchester United, with the news about Jim Ratcliffe taking over 25% of the club. So maybe some positivity going into this game. You've got it a little closer. Any explanation?
Right, guys. Jack, it's Manchester United, and the way that they seem to do things nowadays is very, very odd. They probably will concede the first goal. Right. It's going to go hell for leather in the last 30 minutes of the game, chucking everything at them, and then they're going to find the goal. Everything Jack said is what I really have to repeat there. 3-1, I think Jack's a bit too nice for them, because as much as Jack talk about these avalanche goals, I haven't seen that.
No, true.
Yeah, they don't have Jack. They don't have the Pogbas. They don't have the Cavani's. There's certain players out there. Even Martial was at his peak at that point. They don't have that sort of thing where when it gets late, they can really hurt teams. They will get their 1 or 2 goals there, but I don't think that they have the ability to really take a game away from a team just yet. So I just have 2-1 there.
Okay, next up, Villa versus West Ham. Quietly very, very nice football match that we've got happening here. West Ham way outperforming what I thought they would so far this season. And Villa kind of, this whole dark horse thing for top 4 and stuff, they're really holding their own in this conversation. James, I think Unai Emery's the better manager, and I think generally speaking they got the better squad, the better players, and in better form. I like what West Ham can be. They can be dangerous and they can be hard to beat, and I do expect them to do something. I just think Villa are the better team, and I just think they're at home, and I think those two things will just play into their hands. They want to keep the momentum going. 2-1 for me, kind of a safe home win prediction. 3-2, bit of a blockbuster from you. Why so many goals?
Blockbuster for a reason, when both teams in the last 5 games have only been able to keep 1 clean sheet, Jack. A lot of high scoring games there. And Villa, to me, you've seen what they did against Brighton, Jack. When they get going, it's very, very hard to stop them. The way Unai Emery has had them playing this season, they'll be looking at a top 6 or top 7 finish this year. And West Ham, for the loss of Declan Rice, Jack, they kicked on this year and showed a lot of quality, able to get a 2-2 result against Newcastle. I just think that there is goals in this game. You players like James Ward-Prowse there, Mikel Antonio's in obviously on the Aston Villa side. You got players like Ollie Watkins there that can really, really hurt them. Just so many attacking talent there. So I just have that game being 3-2.
James, I hate to end it this way, but we do have the league leaders, Tottenham Hotspur, for the Monday night game at home. Another London derby. Tottenham at home versus Fulham. You and I pretty convincing here. 3-1 for me, 4-2 for you. Is this a case of just the better team at home?
I was speaking to Sammy before we were watching it, so big up Sammy if you do watch this, and I was thinking, listen, I was looking at my results thinking there's a lot of low results there. I need a big score line, and he said that might be a game. That is there to be a big score line. Spurs, they do have goals in them. James Maddison coming has been phenomenal. Human Son's finishing ability is just outstanding, and just the way that they've gone forward in there's a lot more free flowing. You know that there's going to be chances there. And on the other side of it, Fulham, bit of a weird one. You're not really sure what you're going to get with the loss of Mitrovic there. Where are the goals coming from? Carlos Vinicius, can he can he deliver? But they are a team that can threaten. You've seen what they're able to do, getting a 2-2 draw at the Emirates there. So they do have goals in them.
He's got a bit about him, by the way. I was
Carlos
thinking about
Vinicius.
this recently. Yeah, he's a character. I'm not saying he's good or anything like that, but he's a character. He gets angry and chews out his teammates and kind of fights centre backs. He's kind of a crazy dude.
Yeah, but I just had to get a game that I felt was going to be goals in them, and I like to think this one. Yeah, so I just have been at 4-2.
The tactics from James have already started. Well, guys, listen.
Sometimes you just got to break down the mathematics. Sometimes it's just that.
Look, it's true, and ever since I've started adjusting my formula, it's not been going well. But for the neutral, for the viewer, for the subscriber, for you guys at home, and if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Guys, we're level on points. I got 55. James has got 55. He's caught me up. It only took him 2 weeks, but he's caught me up. We're level heading into game week 9. Like we said at the beginning, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the video. Really help us out as well. And drop your comments in the comment section below for what you think is going to happen in these predictions, or just your opinion on mine or James's. James, anything else from you, mate?
Guys, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get to that 950. Let's please try to hit that. Thank you for watching. This is Box to Box Football, and me and Jack will see you next time.